Boys have their own problems. Why are they doing that?
I cannot go into this right now, but this moment is one of my favorite moments in the show. I'm just kidding. Hey guys, it's me, annewithani here, and in today's video we're going to be reacting to Annewithani Season 1, Episode 5, titled Tightly Knotted to a Similar String. Wow, okay, so I'm filming this video post Amy Beth confessing that she liked Lucas up until the slate scene in Season 1, so this is kind of awkward, I guess, to film this video, but thankfully we're not reacting to the slate scene. We've already done that. If you want to watch my previous reactions to all of the episodes of Annewithani, I'll leave a card right here where you guys can check them out. I hope that you guys like them. Second of all, I just want to say that I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but if it looks like I'm not wearing anything, because my top is pretty low, so just to let you know, I am wearing a top. It's right here because it literally just looks like I'm wearing this cardigan and I'm not just wearing this cardigan. So we're reacting. This is all over the place, I'm sorry. We're reacting to this episode. One of my favorite episodes in Season 1. One of my favorite episodes in the entire show is this one. The spelling bee scene is so good. And I would love to hear more stories about Season 1 from the cast. Do they have any recollection about the spelling bee scene specifically? Because I feel like the only thing I know about the spelling bee scene is what Lucas said in an interview once, way back in Season 1. He said that he couldn't stop saying Z instead of Z, which is the Canadian way of saying that letter. And so if there's any more stories, if you guys know any more of those stories, let me know. Let me know any behind the scenes stories from that scene. Now, without further ado, let's get started with this episode. Great. Chaos. Already. Love it because it's snowing. It's already snowed here where I live. This episode feels very appropriate for the climate where I live.
G-O-R-G-I.
Ugh. I could not do this. I recently went over my notebook from 4th grade. I was not a good speller. I did get better, I gradually improved, and then I kind of got worse again. But my marks were just not good at the time. I could not do this in front of everybody in the class.
Callous. C-A-L-L-O-U-S.
This scene is both disturbing, yet so cute. Because there's the whole petty situation, and then there's the whole Shirbert situation. And this glance towards Anne's abdomen is kind of weird, I feel, but I also understand what's going on because she got her period, or she's getting cramps, I guess. She hasn't gotten her period at this point, but she's getting those cramps that people who menstruate get before their period. I can feel it. I've had that, probably in class.
Engagement. A-G... That is incorrect. The spelling, not the sentiment.
Also, I feel like I missed the whole thing, the engagement part. Yeah.
Congratulations, Anne. I should have added the E.
Do you guys think that Gilbert did that on purpose? Did he lose on purpose? Did he not know how to spell engagement? Or was that just his way of being haha, engagement, I want to marry you, Anne? Which seems so awkward and so creepy if you think about it that way. What do you guys think? Because I personally feel I guess he did want to make that joke, but Anne wasn't having it. And also I don't think he was aware fully of what she was going through in that scene. I don't think he was that concerned because I don't think he realized what she was going through. So I think he was just trying to make the joke and be try to be funny and try to talk to her, because I think if he would have if he would have known, if he would have sensed it, he would have asked her, are you okay? I don't know. Literally me. No, I'm not. This wasn't me. But I was confused when I first got my period when I was 10 years old, turning 11 a week afterward, and my sister had gotten her period already the same year that I got mine, but I got mine later during the year, and I didn't understand what was going on. I was like, what is going on? Am I getting this right now? Like, I'm only 10 years old, turning 11, but still, I felt like I was too young. But then I just asked my mom, like, is this my period? Like, what is this? And my sister was actually the one who was like, yes, it is, because she had just gone through it. So yeah.
You're in your womanly flowering time, and it's perfectly normal.
I'm not ready to be a woman.
Well,
Literally me.
What's wrong?
Also, Matthew, just like so terrified. I get it, but I also feel like it's not that big of a deal. Like, I don't know. It's,
my word, you're hysterical.
and the use of hysterical is, But anyway, I guess that's the word they would have used back then, but I don't really like that word. Also, the fact that she's trying to be a mother, she did it. Thankfully. I like that, like, attention they add to that action that she does.
I need to keep up my academic record. I have just caught up with the rest of the class.
Oh. Your period can be pretty, like, impeding. Sometimes you're just like, I don't want this right now. I've personally learned to be grateful for it just because for so many years throughout my adolescence, I didn't have regular periods, which I've talked about on my channel, but like I've learned to see it as a blessing rather than just a nuisance because it's actually like, for me, it's helping me. It's regulating my body and my hormones and stuff, you know? I think that's how it works, but I don't want to take it for granted anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, son.
Also, this image of like the wheelchair, and this is like our first introduction to John Blythe, which I think is so interesting. Like, we don't see John Blythe until after we see the wheelchair, and we're like, oh, this is like signaling his, like, you know, his sickness and his inability to be a father, I guess. Like, he's to the point where he's very ill. And I love this, like, walking, running in the snow. I think Gilbert feels very isolated in these moments that we see of him. And the snow is like a perfect, like, desert and this perfect, like, landscape to depict his isolation and loneliness.
I don't miss it. I'll say it out loud. I'd rather be pregnant than menstruating. That explains all the children.
I love their little moments in this. Love it so much.
I think the boys take me more seriously too. But they can't tell. Can they tell? That would be awful.
Yeah.
I'm not a little girl anymore, and I believe that's noticeable. My bosoms are growing.
Oh god.
I got mine last year. Me too. Really? My father.
Ruby being the only one. I'm sorry, Ruby. She deserves so much better. But also, it's just like not that big of a deal.
Why don't I have it? Trust me, if I could give you mine, I would. This is so inconvenient. A woman's cycle is a shameful thing.
And this is what I was gonna say,
Why don't you
like,
ever understand anything?
okay, Josie, there's not that many shows that actually talk about this, especially towards, like, preteens, adolescents,
Boys
younger
have to contend
kids.
with anything like this? Boys have their own problems. Why are they doing that?
I cannot go into this right now, but this moment is one of my favorite moments in the show. I'm just kidding. This is part of the wood joke. I'm definitely making a video about the wood joke. I'm not joking anymore. I'm not delaying this anymore. The wood joke is just... The writers, thank you. This would probably ruin your whole life when I tell you guys what this is.
Anne, which provinces comprise the Atlantic Maritimes?
Literally me. When you stand up and just like everything is... Don't want to get graphic.
You just did.
But just like you feel like everyone knows, you know? Especially when you stand up. That's just how it is.
I'm sorry, I just...
The Atlantic Maritimes! Sometime today.
I feel bad.
Nice boys never say people eat insects.
I beg your pardon?
It's a mnemonic device. It helps you remember things. New Brunswick, Nova Scotia.
He's kind of pretentious.
Diana, could you please tell Gilbert Blythe that I don't need his help?
Why don't you just tell me yourself? I'm right here.
Right here.
I suppose I
I
just...
just did. Ooh. Nice callback to the Slate scene.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
There's like this mixture of like pretentious, pompous, yet he's like trying to help her, trying to talk to her. Anyway, what I was saying was menstruation is so taboo, and it's still pretty taboo. It's not something that in a lot of coming of age stories is really that talked about. It's both important, yet it shouldn't be like this huge tragic thing, if that makes sense, you know?
I'll thank you to mind your manners.
What does that even mean?
I feel like there's also a lot of like stereotypes about periods, about how like every person who goes through it necessarily has these like outrageous mood swings, which is not always true. It doesn't happen to everyone. You just don't get taken seriously as someone who menstruates. When you're going through menstruation and people are like, oh, like you're just going through your period, you don't actually feel this way. You know, it's just not always the case, which is really annoying when people think it is. This is a mood though. It is a mood. It can be a mood.
Tea? With Diana as my guest? But I have nothing to wear.
Oh, you have 2 perfectly good dresses.
But they won't do for tea without puffed sleeves. Matthew, tell her.
She's been dreaming of those since the day we met.
Aww. I love his like blue eyes. Matthew's blue eyes. Oof.
Maybe sit in the parlor?
You may. And you may have some of the raspberry cordial as well.
Oh my god, Matthew just like sneaking to get Anne's dress to like, get her the puff sleeve dress later on. So good.
There seemed to be a draft.
I'm having Diana to tea.
What did she have noticed though, that she doesn't have a dress? Like one of her dresses? It's so lovely. It's so like aesthetically pleasing. Also just like ASMR pleasant.
Must be Saturday.
Oh, and he's pouring tea for his father. I never noticed that parallel.
Good day, sir. May I assist you?
No.
Literally me. I can't do this. I think my like social awkwardness has gotten worse since the pandemic started. So I think I was doing okay before it. And now I'm like Matthew. I think I'm okay. I just like, I gotta get used to like seeing people on a regular basis, which I'm not. So
I trust your family as well.
Quite well, thank you kindly.
I love how Diana's like playing into this like properness, because that's actually how she was raised.
There are ever so many responsibilities when one is hosting company.
It's so like, I don't know. It's so lovely to see their friendship in this way. And here comes the mistake. I love how we wouldn't know. I guess like if you've never seen or read the books, you wouldn't know what's about to happen. You would just think she's just grabbing some raspberry cordial and that's it. By the way, if you want to see me make a video where I make raspberry cordial, I've never drank it before, I've never made it before, I barely know how to use a kitchen, let me know. Because I think that would be fun.
It's...
Oh, Jeannie.
Cuthbert, as I live and breathe.
Why did we not get Jeannie in season 3?
Ginny?
Oh my god.
I love bright red drinks, don't you?
Je vous remercie de vos belles manières.
That's French. You speak French?
Oui.
I wonder if they like had that as a requirement for Diana's character, because Dalila actually does speak French, so I wonder if that was like part of her getting the role, was that she actually knew how to speak French.
I could drink this for the rest of my life.
I'm gonna make a proclamation. I'm in love with Gilbert Blythe. I love being a woman. There is so much to look forward to when we are even older. We get to wear corsets.
Because we'll have
Buttons!
Also, like, this hazy effect is really interesting because they're drunk, you know, which I don't think I've ever noticed before.
And she's got a longing for a certain type of sleeve.
When you don't know what it's called.
It's air. It's on the sides.
Puff sleeves.
So good.
Matthew, would you like to stay for tea? I'd hate to see you ride all that way back to Avonlea without fortification.
What does fortification mean? Because it kind of sounds like fornication. Hello?
You once left a little something on my desk at school.
Did I?
Will you teach me how to do that pretty cross stitch after school? It's called a feather stitch, and of course I will.
How does she still have that though? Like, also, did she ever get married? Because I don't think that was ever answered.
It wasn't long after that you left school.
Oh my god.
I was worried about you. We were all so sorry when your brother passed away.
Aww. You can tell how much it like hurts him to remember and to not have continued with school, just like Marilla. And obviously like his whole brother passing away and stuff. We never really discover why he did.
It was good to see you. I look forward to seeing you then.
You can hear that tiny like it, which is like him saying, yeah, he's a man of very short words, of very few words. And this is obviously foreshadowing his heart attack. Oh my god, this part.
Would you like a little lick?
Just the way that they filmed this scene is just so much dirtier than it like seems with Marilla's expression. I think the writers doing this episode were just like, we're gonna take all the dirty jokes and insert them here.
I'm sure it's a very dignified affair.
Jerry, hurry and hitch up the buggy, or I shall be late for the ball!
Oh my god. How?
Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me.
I wonder if they just improvised that song or if they actually just were like told to sing it. I'm assuming they were told to sing it though.
Mother!
Also that twist when she gets up, so interesting how they like, I wonder how they did that, you know, with the camera.
Anne made an honest mistake. I'm to blame.
This is the last time my Diana will ever set foot in your house. They are not to fraternize in any manner, at any time.
Please, Mother.
Diana, come on!
Please, Mother, please.
Oh my god. It's interesting how like a lot of Anne's mistakes are because of Marilla. Sorry, but it's true. The brooch, this scene, the cake that she made in season 3 is just like Marilla's fault. Which Marilla, except for like the brooch situation, Marilla doesn't, you know, blame Anne, in the show at least. So it's still unfair though.
Do you ever think about Michael?
And it's right, their picture is right there. It's framed so well.
So much would have been different if he hadn't.
Yes.
There it is. And their parents are in the other picture too. So I'm assuming like Michael was like the older brother, right? Like he was the oldest in the family.
Poor little soul.
Oh my gosh, she kissed her? Aww. Like I don't remember that. Oh, that's so nice. Even though she does it while she's asleep. Like she should do it when she's awake. That's in every situation, but like she's not really able to show intimacy towards Anne. Until later, obviously, but...
Ruby, switch places with Anne.
The way everyone's like, like what? Like who even said that? Also, Ruby finally got what she wanted, which was to be next to Diana. Also, Ruby is high-key the third wheel.
Could never love anyone as I love you. Though, wait, you loved me. I thought you liked me, of course, but I never hoped you loved me.
Aww.
And I will always love thee, Diana.
This is such a, like, tender, even romantic moment. Like, it's incredible. I love this scene.
Let us offer each other locks of our hair.
Also, their crying is so believable. I know they're actually crying, but it's just so, like, especially Amy Beth's crying in this scene is so believable, and it really adds to the emotional aspect of the scene. So sad.
Take these lessons to Gilbert Blythe. He'll be missing class for a time, and I don't want him falling too far behind. He's my best student.
Why is he missing class?
That is none of your concern. Now hurry along.
Oh my god. Mr. Phillips is so sexist. We've been new. I still love the actor though, so I can't hate him as much as I try to.
Gilbert Blythe! Life is so unfair.
Also, the meaning of this episode is so interesting. Like, the meaning of the title, tightly knotted to a similar string, implies that Gilbert and Anne aren't as far different as she may think, because they're both going through a lot of, like, hardships and stuff. And at this point, he's definitely going through a lot of pain that he conceals. And like I said before, he feels very lonely.
It's nice to meet you. Give my kind regards to Marilla.
Yes.
Of course, Mr. Blythe.
As she should. because we ship it, even though it would be kind of weird if they got together. I don't know, would it be weird? It would be weird, right?
Mr. Phillips doesn't want you falling behind.
I don't either. If you're gonna beat me in class, I want you to do it fair and square.
Yes, I'm trying to point to the thumb dictionary.
I'll see you.
I think this for Anne is a pretty, like, humbling moment where she, you know, she's like, well, I lost my friend, but she's still around. She's not about to die. Meanwhile, Gilbert has very few time left with his father, which is a loss that is, it's not something you can compare it to anything, really.
I've come to realize that there are far bigger worries in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Please, just you return that to Miss Jeannie.
Another button, right?
Mr. Cuthbert said I'm to give you this. Au revoir.
Yes. Too bad she wasn't in season 3. I would have loved to have seen them have a relationship. I know that wasn't the point of the show, like, to give Matthew a relationship because he already has Love, who is Anne. But at the same time, they were so good together. Their chemistry was so good. And I love this moment. Oh my god. I completely forgot this is how this episode ends. I thought the dress giving part was, like, next episode, but it's not, obviously.
Thank you.
Oh, and the dress is incredible. Like, I would have liked it if she had let down her hair, but regardless, the dress looks amazing. And how she passes it down to Coquette was so heartwarming. Unfortunately, you know, the dress gets taken away, so. This song is, I think, my favorite song in the soundtrack of this show. I think this is the first time we actually see them like a family, and it's so special. It's great. Oh my god. Okay, so that was the end of this reaction. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this episode. I enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. This is one of my favorite episodes of the show, as I said. I don't know, it's so good. It didn't just become like a period episode. There were so many like different elements of this show, especially like how Gilbert kind of gives Anne perspective on her whole life, and she starts to learn how, you know, there's other people that have bigger problems than she's going through. It's fun, and it's a part of the book as well, but they turned it into something that has a different meaning. Like, it's a different way of looking at an iconic storyline from the book, because in the book they don't, like, you know, they don't have Gilbert's dad dying or anything like that. So, and they also don't have a period story in the book. So I love how they added that in this show. Thank you so much to Raster, I'm Danny Fanta, Mary Chris Pepito, Zario Darp, and Gaston Setien for joining my channel membership. It really means a lot to me. If you are interested in joining my channel membership, you can click on the join button on my main channel page, or you can find the join button below any of my videos. Currently, there are only 2 tiers, the Kindred Spirits tier and the Green Gables tier, so check out those options if you feel like joining my channel membership. And once again, thank you to my channel members for joining. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you guys want, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! We'll be back next time for episode 6.